And of course, it's now time for I Write Again. That's right, I Write Again. It is time for it again. I'm telling you. Hold on. What's going on there? Okay, let me see that. Okay. All right, we're taking it off. Yeah. We're taking it off. Yes. Want to say good evening, each and every one of you tonight. It is now time for I Write One More Time. Episode number 20 promises to be hot. Let me tell you something. I can tell you that because, well, I can't tell you that. I want you to listen to it the same time I listening to it. Although, I have a little sipshaw. I have a little edge on y'all. But yes, episode number 20 is up. Don't forget the number to call tonight. It's 458-2488. If you are listening overseas, it's 758-458-2488. Our WhatsApp platform, 758-489-4781. Of course, when I say good evening to each and every one of you viewing on Facebook, hi, good night, how you doing? And I know those in radio land are kind of jealous because they cannot see. But yes, if you want to see, you could just go onto the Caribbean Hitz FM webpage, Facebook page, and of course, you can check us out now. Now, without further ado, let me give you the program for tonight, episode number 20, I Write.
Previously on I Write.
I just had an episode there with Lincoln, so...
Lincoln again, eh?
Nah, not like that.
What happened to him now?
I had to arrest Lincoln.
What?
Well, I just washed that piece of whip she had on her head. They think I'm joking.
Louise?
You should have seen her. She came in my face. I would not have it. I wonder,
Louise?
Link, I'm trying everything I can to get you out.
Well, you're not trying hard enough, Cynthia.
Lincoln, what more you expect me to do? I have done all I can. You are the one that need to control yourself. Obviously, you have not learned anything while you are here.
I tell you, when I come out, I pass in my watch on all of you. Be hell and damnation when I finish with you all. Now, be your guasto.
Court is in session.
Clerk, what do we have today?
The Queen versus Lincoln George of Laclery Castries.
It's you. I'm not surprised. Where is your counsel, Mr. George?
I've been into this long enough. I think I can take care of myself. As a matter of fact, I don't even know why the hell I am doing
Watch your language in my court, Mr. George. I'd strongly advise against not having counsel represent you.
That's right.
Clerk, with the charges.
You are arrested and charged for that you, on July 22nd, 2019, about 4 p.m., in Laclery situate near the city of Castries, within the 1st Judicial District of this state, did unlawfully assault Mrs. Cynthia George.
What the...
Mr. George! You will be given a chance to respond.
Contrary to Section 426 of the Criminal Code, Chapter 3.1 of the Revised Laws of St. Lucia 2013, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Obviously not guilty.
No, I tell you to come. Now you come in. You think I have all day? I have my things to do, you know, boy.
But I told you that I was busy.
Busy doing what?
I was just going
I don't care. Some serious business to deal.
Matoto, the last time, I told you I didn't want anything to do with you and any of your zeze.
Shh, Stephen, you do not know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about. You forget I heard everything Lincoln said. And you made me drink that nasty thing. You an evil woman.
Push, you have no idea. But you're also forgetting a very, very important piece of information I know about you.
About me? Matoto, I can go to the police about this. You're trying to blackmail me.
Nigga, please. Blackmail? Blackmail what? Blackmail what?
I know everybody blackmailing these days. And you don't scare me.
Scare you? You think that's what I'm trying to do? You're joking.
But you had no right to give me anything to drink to tie me to Kina.
Kina? Kina? You think this is about Kina? You think I don't know about your escapades with little Miss Goody Two Shoes?
What you talking about?
All this time when everybody think people is your friend, people helping themselves to people's property. Wait, how long have you been good friends with Evan?
Matoto, you're not making any sense.
Of course I'm not making any sense.
What you getting at? Just make your point.
How long have you and Evan been friends?
Since when that's any of your business? You always in other people's business.
Stephen, trust me. You are in the company of friends.
Friends? Friends? Matoto, you are hardly a friend to anybody.
Of course I am your friend. You think I know the secret you and somebody holding from the family?
As I said, you are not making any sense. Plus, whatever happened to Kina and me is in the past. And you made me drink that nastiness.
You keep saying Kina. Kina's in the list of my worries. I like you, you know. Better than that old fella that holding on to Evan's heel. You and me are alike in so many ways.
Woman, I'm nothing like you.
You sure?
Of course.
So how come everybody else afraid to come to my house and you always want to come there?
Well, it's just that I'm not afraid of you. Who you think you are?
Exactly. Who's a book in the chair?
What mash is she saying now?
By the way, how is Louise?
But how is me you asking? And why you always asking me about them people? Is your family that there? I mean, I'm their friend, but you the grandmother.
Yes, I know, but you get to see them more than I do, so...
So what?
Di mo sa ki ka pase fik se moun la.
Matoto, ma connect sa fay se moun la. Who can you mother you come?
So like that you like it?
Now that woman going on like she mad. Matoto, if you have nothing to tell me or to offer, I think I will have to leave.
Leave and go where? Eh? Everybody at the courthouse. Well, that is except for Louise. She home alone. Are you going and keep her company?
Woman, I'm not your papi show.
So how is Trudy?
What?
Trudy. All of a sudden you're deaf now.
How the hell I should know? Why you ask her parents? Matoto, these kinds of questions make no sense. It's as if you want to trap me.
No, why you think I want to trap you? Just so.
But you tell me you have message for me, call me here, and it's nothing. The last time you give me some maji to drink, what you want to do now?
Okay. How is your family?
Matoto, my mother is fine, my father is okay, and my brother...
Aren't you missing somebody?
What? Who else could there possibly be?
What about your daughter?
My daughter? Matoto, you know I don't have children. I only have one godchild, and that's Trudy. Try that.
You sure about that? I tell you, mess with my Toto, she know everything.
What you trying?
Stephen, when you all young people doing your all thing, you all think people stupid? There is one thing you did not know about Evan, and it's I alone that know.
What nonsense.
Yes, it is nonsense until you get the sense. Okay, Tanwi?
But you're not making sense.
Let me tell you that. When Evan was a little boy, for some strange reason, he could not pee. Everything the doctors did could not work. So one day, he come to me crying, "Mama, it's burning. So you know I had to help my baby. The thing I gave him stopped the problem forthwith, and my boy was able to pee freely. Me pee, sorry. But it created another problem.
Okay, how is that my business?
Well, I noticed how close all the three of you were. Evan, Louise, you. And I noticed how you and Louise used to get along even when Evan was around, and more so when Evan was not around.
So, what's your point?
You have been good friends with Evan and Louise for how long?
I don't know, maybe from secondary school.
So you did not know about his little problem? And that you and Louise have been carried on in your little dirty little secret for all those years?
The point?
The point, my dear Stephen, is in your point. Evan shoots blanks. And Trudy, in fact, is not your godchild, but your very own daughter.
Evan, I don't even know what to say to you.
Well, I am my father's son.
We are all our father's children.
Yeah, but when I look back on things, can I check I thinking just like the man? You know I raised my hand on Louise once? I didn't hit her though.
Boy, that would have been messed up.
Yeah.
But how come you never knew Daddy used to beat up Mommy so badly?
Kina, I don't even know. Maybe he never registered. Maybe I thought, that's what makes a man a man. One day, I had just come from work and Louise had not cooked. I was hungry as a dog and mad as hell.
But Louise works outside of the home just like you, Evan.
Yeah, but I did not care.
But wait. You're telling me that even though Louise working the same 8-hour job like you, and y'all get home at the same time, she's the one who is obligated to cook?
Oh yes, Kina.
Shoot, man, you're crazy.
Nah, that's just how I felt. I would get on and act ignorant just like Daddy would.
But Ev, you ain't knowing your daddy, huh?
Kina, you don't even know. I remember a time when my food was on the table cold.
Oh no. Tell me you did not do the daddy act.
Girl, I look at Louise to give her one slap. I just hold her plate and voltage that on the floor and tell her clean it up.
And did she?
Kina, you see the kind of woman Louise is? Clean what?
Gasa, I know my Lulu eating nice.
You see what she did to the HR manager at the hotel?
She pulled her weave out. You wash it like quintedly.
Oh boy, what a woman.
But whatever became of that case?
Well, you know that Labor Department was investigating certain matters of interest. Well, they did find out that I was discriminated against and I will be reinstated.
At the same hotel?
Well, yes and no.
What you mean?
Well, I'll still be at that hotel, but at another location.
Wow, you make it, boy.
Yep. And if it were not for my Lulu, who fished this woman out...
And to think you could pull a Lincoln on her.
Yeah, I was like, Daddy girl.
Evan.
Kina.
If you were truly like Daddy, I would never be able to pass by you.
Girl, you don't even know the last of it.
How come, huh?
Okay, so I knew how Daddy felt about gays from the time I was a little boy. But I sharped from that foolish thinking early. And that's because of Al.
What you saying?
You know I've always been soft-spoken, right? Well, the children used to call me names too. You're probably too young to remember how I used to come home with burst head, bloody nose, sometimes even limping.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, you were too small.
So, continue.
So, well, I didn't have any male friends at the time.
Why?
Well, they thought I was strange. Homo.
Well, people thought you were homo in those days?
Yeah, because I was soft-spoken and kind of timid.
And today, things have not changed. Wow.
Well, Kina, will that ever change?
Hey, don't change your topic. Al.
Oh, yes. So, well, when I was being beat up, only one person stood up for me.
Al?
Correct. I was the only one who used to come to pick me up.
But wasn't he, the way he is?
Oh, yes, Kina. From the time that boy's small, he flamboyant.
Yeah, so why didn't you attack him as well?
To be honest, I think the children were afraid of him.
Why?
I don't really know. His tongue, maybe? I'll have a sharp tongue.
Yeah, and you were an easy target because of your dull tongue.
Kina, I was too soft-spoken.
Wow. You were discriminated because of your voice, eh?
Yep.
Wow. Speak, Evan.
I don't even know. I guess Daddy said enough.
What do you mean, Daddy said enough?
Kiki, Daddy shouted so much. I don't know, I felt like he took my voice.
Huh?
Oh, I guess Daddy's abusive ways were just so loud. I never really knew what to say or even how to say it.
Prosecution, please ensure that full disclosure is made on the defense counsel no later than August 2, 2019. Clerk, a date please.
6 weeks time, Your Honor.
6 weeks?
Your Honor, if I may.
Please.
Your Honor, as you consider adjourning this matter, prosecution is objecting to bail.
What? Mr. George, there will be no outbursts in my court.
Come on! Isn't this taking a joke too far?
Mr. George, any more from you and I'd find you in contempt of court. Counsel?
Thank you. Your Honor, you've heard the charges. Mr. George did not even consider the presence of officers of the law when he viciously attacked Mrs. George. This behavior demonstrates that there is very little regard for the law, and so we are putting the defendant at risk by allowing Mr. George any sort of freedom until his date in court.
Your Honor, this is grossly unfair. I spent almost 30 years serving this country as a police officer. I have been responsible for many misfits sitting at Bodile right now. Some that you yourself sentenced. Today you telling me that the state of St. Lucia wants to keep me in hell for something as petty as this? I mean, come on.
Petty, Mr. George? I am not sure if we are following on the same page here, Mr. George. But those charges against you is anything but petty. And it is because you consider these as petty, which is why you chose to represent yourself again. I urge you to please reconsider.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing. I slapped my own wife in the privacy of my home when it's she that pushed me in it, you know. And you're considering me getting locked up? But what exactly is going on here? You're showing absolutely no respect to a tired servant of the state.
Right here, Your Honor, we have the victim, bruised and battered.
Mrs. George, could you stand up, please? Mrs. George, I understand that this may be very difficult for you. However, I have to ask, do you believe that you may experience physical abuse from the defendant if released?
Cynthia, open your bloody mouth and say something. Get me out of this foolishness. Let this puppy show end.
Silence, Mr. George! You do not want to test my patience right now. I am not in the mood for any of your nonsense. You are lucky I don't sentence you for contempt of court right now. Now you keep quiet. Mrs. George, I take it that your silence means that you concur with the prosecutor. Mr. George, you are really pushing me, eh? You're really pushing me. Lincoln George, regardless of your circumstances or your special upbringing, you have absolutely no right to inflict bodily harm or mental harm to any other. Your indespicable manners have brought you to this place today. Look at your wife, Mr. George. Look at her! You have made her to look less than human. Bail denied. This court is adjourned to August 14, 2019.
Wait!
course, there you have it. There you have it. Episode 20 of the program I Write. Don't forget the numbers to call: 758-458-2488. Of course, the WhatsApp platform is 758-489-4781. Of course, you can check us out on Facebook and leave your comments. That's right, at Caribbean Hitz FM. And boy, what an episode it was. Of course, we're going to be doing a little recap. That's right, we'll do a little recap of it, and of course, we'll go right into it. So Lincoln appears before the court to answer charges brought against him. And as you heard, no regard for the law. And of course, his bail was denied. Of course, we're going to be getting into that conversation in a while. Matoto has asked Stephen to come and see her. And of course, she reveals to him a very interesting secret. Yeah, whoa, okay, yes, you understand what I'm saying? And of course, Evan is of course speaking to Keena on some of the ways that he treated his wife Louise, which are, you know, some kind of similar to how his father was treating his mother, and he almost went down that road almost in the very same way. Of course, Keena tells her, oh, you're not like daddy at all. No, you're not like your father at all. And of course, we're going to be going straight into it right now. That's right. Right now, we're going to go into the program. Of course, we're going to dissect it, turn it all around, do all kind of things. And of course, we welcome your participation on Facebook. We welcome your participation on WhatsApp. And of course, again, the studio number 458-2488. Now, poor Jab Lincoln. I used to feel sorry for him, but I'm feeling sorry for him again. Because you can't mean to tell me you reach to the place where, you know, you have to answer for your actions, of course on the not before the good Lord, but of course before the courts. And of course, as an ex-officer of the law, you are displaying that kind of manner and attitude before the judge. Was it a judge or magistrate? It doesn't matter. You are before the courts, and you are supposed to conduct yourself in a certain manner. You are the defendant in the case. No, but no, you're wrong and strong. And your excuse was, you have served your country and put a lot of fellas in Bordelais, and it's the same judge or magistrate that you before that put the people there. And there's no regard for the fact that you have served your country and so on and so on. But Lincoln, you don't have no regard for your wife. So for all the time you was beating her and so on, there's no regard for that. And then and then now, while the judge is speaking to your wife, you want to tell the wife and get on like that in front, of course, the police, and of course the judge or magistrate. Well, there's something wrong. And it just shows people, it just shows his scant regard for anybody else's opinion. His scant regard or blatant disrespect for anybody's rights. And that is wrong. That is wrong. So very wrong. Of course, I want to say good evening to the folks on Facebook. I want to say good night to you. I want to say good night to a very, very, very special person who is listening and viewing all the way in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Of course, good night to you. Of course, I want to say good night to Mr. Bennett Charles. And of course, our very, 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 very avid listener, Miss Casey. Good evening to you. Of course, again, we see, and I'm going to stick with this one a while. We see again, you know, in the domestic violence issues and so on, where one partner just feels that it is okay to musty-pay themselves. I have to use that word first because, you know, we have lay people listening. To musty-pay themselves on their partner. You feel you have the right to beat up. Okay, whether it's physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, any kind of abuse. Ou pan pièce droit pour faire sécurité by ça. Of course, we have our first call tonight. Of course, want to say good evening to you, sir. How you doing?
Good evening, Roger. What's up?
I am good, nice, great, wonderful, blessed, and all the rest. How you doing, sir?
Isn't she had to jump. She isn't well. And I also want to apologize. This was your but I think there was issues she had to take care of, family emergency.
Okay, all right.
She won't be able to come.
All right.
But Roger, you never told me that Evan was firing blanks.
Well, partner, I get to find out just like you know. The boy firing blanks. So that brings up a whole new dimension to the Evan Louise issue right there. And of course, what Stephen what role Stephen have to play in that. I mean, you come in to tell me, you lie me if your partner, huh? You lie me if your partner, and his girl, and all of a sudden, yes, you're getting to find out now that you are your partner's. What kind of thing is that?
The godfather is the father.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. But it just
goes. But you know that is I'm interested in terms of how Matutu knows all them things.
That is the question I was going to ask anybody who called. How do you think Matutu know all that? How she?
Matutu say God
You know, there were some people that were asking the same question. You know, on Facebook. I kind of re-uploaded the program. I said, because that Matutu lady, it seems that woman flying man and something like that. But she seems to know a lot about people very, very, in the community or I would say very close to her circle, and she knows the little details very intricately.
Yes, I think Matutu really has. I'm very much interested in knowing what's going to happen to her, but I think she has a hand in everything.
That is the funny thing. It even goes back to Lincoln and Cynthia.
Yes, It would really be hard. I would really want to hear what callers have to say. Imagine you finding out that your partner, your best partner, is actually your child's father.
Yeah.
And all the time you're thinking is your child there, but as your child's father.
Well, Bennett,
I want to put that on a side and really go in terms of, I think, the way in which Lincoln was behaving in court.
Yes.
And from even experience talking to persons who've worked in the court system, court and human services, and too often it's actually the very same behavior, because Lincoln basically, that's my wife, my woman, like he said before, I raise her, I feed her, everything, so I can do what I want to her, and I don't care what the hell the court says about it.
Yeah, but it says something else too. I mean, the breakdown in the society and the lack of respect for authority. You understand what I'm saying? The lack of respect. You are now in a place where you have to answer, before a court of law. You are a man that was upholding the law, and because you feel that you are upholding the law, you feel you're above it. Just because you are an officer of the law, you think it doesn't apply to you. What kind of thing is that?
But I think, and this is, I think this goes deeper. So there are two things in that, Roger. I think one, Lincoln truly believes that what he's doing to his wife is not wrong. He believes that he's doing nothing wrong. He truly believes that.
Yeah. Even in the court, he's shouting across to his wife and threatening the woman.
Yes.
In the presence of a magistrate or judge.
But the other thing is that also, I think, I don't want to back the police, but I think too often we've heard of cases where police officers actually have cases like this, and nobody knows what happens. And people believe that officers behave with impunity. So even though you go to you make a complaint about the police officer in terms of domestic violence and those things, people really believe that it's not going to matter. And I think this is exactly the way that Lincoln is acting. That if my husband or my boyfriend is a police officer, or my wife is, and then there's a case of domestic violence, people truly believe that the police themselves will not act against it because they believe that they are above the law.
Bennett, that is very, very true in the minds of certain people, and there are a lot of cases in Saint Lucia where police there are policemen involved in domestic violence, whether it's their partner or whoever else, and it goes not unnoticed but ignored. You understand? Okay, well, made work in the police station, so I just parley by me say I'll speak to him and I'll be that. You understand? And I think sometimes the partners, with the people that are with police officers, the ladies or gentlemen that are with police officers, are somehow afraid or scared or being threatened with other kinds of even further violence or even worse violence too. That if they come forward and say, well, yeah, you better don't say nothing or else you will see. I'm a police officer, I can make things happen. That kind of thing, it does exist. It does exist. And people are afraid to, the partners in these kinds of relationships, I am sure, very afraid to speak up about these kinds of things. The question is, do these partners have a place to go that they can feel confident enough that if they do make reports against partners like that, will they get the recompense? Will they be, will it be taken seriously? Will a case come before the court? And these are the questions that should be asked. And what I'm asking now, do you think that it happens or will happen?
Yeah, well, but I think one of the things, I think that you do have support services. You do have places like the vulnerable persons unit. You do the court, the family court and the court that deals with those issues actually do have group therapy for the actual perpetrators of domestic violence, where the men themselves take part in group therapy and counseling. The thing, one of the bigger question is that, does the system work fast enough to facilitate justice for victims of domestic violence? I think a lot of times that's one of the biggest issues. How does the system drag? But I do think that you do have services. These services are the vulnerable persons unit, the family court, but are the systems working quickly enough to facilitate some form of redress for victims, or when it comes to domestic violence or even cases of discrimination?
Yes, that's very true.
But I would really love to hear from your callers what they have.
Okay, sir. Well, let's open the line to them and see what's happening.
Yeah.
All right then. Okay, so people, you heard it. Lincoln put himself in a thing. That is the chief thing. But let me go back to Matoto there. Fellas, let me tell you all something. They have a lot of Matotos around the place. You toujours connaître zafel. They always know the intricate details in your relationship. And if you feel somebody not looking or watching you, somebody is watching you. Of course, don't forget the number to call, 458-2488. 458-2488. If you are calling from overseas, the number is 758-458-2488. The WhatsApp number, 758-489-4781. Of course, again, want to say good evening to the folks listening all the way in Trinidad and Tobago. We have somebody calling. Hello, good evening. Hold on. And here we go. Hello, good evening. You're on the air. How are you doing?
Yes, hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I am nice, great, wonderful, blessed, and all the rest, sir.
All right. With what you just said there, sir, have you ever heard of a brotherhood?
Well, yes.
Okay. The police department, police force is like that. Okay? That is why people that with officers in domestic violence relation do not come forward, because they know if they do come forward, nothing will be done, because the first step of that report is the police, right?
Yes.
And brotherhood cover up for brotherhood, right?
That's right. In many cases, that's what happens.
So what if I'm being abused and my partner is a police officer? It don't make sense for me to go to and make a report about it, because I will go, they will pretend that they take the report, and then it just gets swept under the rug. Brotherhood cover up for brotherhood.
But sir, don't you think that aside, apart from making the report at the police station, there should be some other institution or some other department or office where these people who are suffering domestic violence under people who profess to be, defenders of the law, don't you think that there should be a place for these people to go to, and their report will be held in confidence, or they will be protected and supported in their reporting?
Yes, they should, but then now you have the circle. Now there is police officers will know somebody in there now, and then you try manipulating the system again. Hey,
yes,
I need a favor. Somebody just came and make a report against my boy. I need you to, trash it.
Yeah, but I could probably give an example of one of those cases where somebody actually went to the police station because of something that was being said about them, and it was in fact the truth, and because of family or relatives being the police now took on the case and tried their very best to have that person incarcerated. But you see, the truth held out, and the person stood up for themselves. So I believe there is hope, but again, it has to start with the person who is being battered and abused, and you have to at some point say enough is enough, and you have to find some way to get the soulagement, whether there is a brotherhood or not. Would you not agree? Do you think that there should be some other support system other than the police? I
would definitely agree, but with knowing that how the situation is going, I think that the best remedy for that, if you've been abused in a relationship, is to walk away.
That's right.
Even though you have kids together, the kids will survive. Walk away.
Maybe in some of these cases, they may be threatened. And if you try and leave, well, you'll see. It does happen, sir.
It does.
What is the next recourse? I mean, sometimes you have to find a way out of these relationships. You're a police officer. You are beating on your partner. You understand? The person goes and makes a report. You're going to go there and threaten and make all kind of deal on a side. There is scant regard for the other person's life.
Well, unless a private entity don't come together and form that department, because I don't think the government will take it upon their own to form it.
And you're saying some citizens should just come forward and put up that kind of group, that support group, right. Good. I'm with you.
And try to find some outside funding to support that group.
Amen.
And keep it alive.
That is it.
Because the government would not do it, because that is very little on their agenda.
I would hate to think that a government that I went and put my little tiqua to make sure that they sit in there would have scant regard for my life if I am in a domestic I'm in a relationship and I am being battered and abused. I would hate to think that. I'm not saying that it is. I would hate to think that.
The thing is that it is not directly offending them or impacting them at the moment, so they would not worry about it.
That's right. That is right. And I believe, and I am agreeing with you, sir. I am agreeing with you.
The only time it will directly affect them at the time is come election day, when they want to get re-elected for that seat they're running for.
Yeah, and maybe some of those domestic abused, these people who are abused domestically, take to the streets with placards and them kind of thing, and make noise and sit down in front of the government buildings and that kind of thing. Of course, peacefully. But then again, they still have to deal with the police, because you need a license or permission to demonstrate. You see what I'm saying?
So that's why I said it. It will behoove some citizens to come together, form this entity.
Yes.
Which is not part of the government. It's a private entity, private sector, right? Being funded by donations, whatever it is, to keep it going.
Yes.
And take those reports in confidentiality. And with that fund that they're getting, retain an attorney who could prosecute on their behalf.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Anyway, that's all my contribution. You'll have a good night.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for your contribution, sir.
You.
All right then. Yeah, and you heard it from the caller, and I quite agree with him. And sometimes you have to think outside of the box, and you have to go outside. Well, a little bit outside of the law to get the initial assistance that you need, so that it comes back within the system. It goes to court, and the perpetrators are dealt with. We have another call coming in. Hello, good evening, sir. You're on the air.
Yes, and I wanted to call back, and I think one of your in your Facebook chat, one of your persons, when she asked who got the guards, I think it's Kezia, and she made a very pertinent point. She said Owen. And I think Owen is very much reflective of what policing was supposed to be, what it should be.
Yes.
Somebody who understands that when anyone's right is being violated, and you're in a position to make a difference, that you stand up.
Yes, very true. Very true.
Owen is the epitome of that. He's the personification of standing up for someone's rights. I listened to your caller, and he was mentioning about the support organization. Interestingly enough, Roger, when you have organizations that stand up for people's rights, it is very quickly that society sometimes does not understand the rule. Let me take a quick example. She was supposed to be one of your guests tonight, Catherine Seeley. And Catherine Seeley, I think, from Raise Your Voice St. Lucia, has been one of the very few organizations that have been so much devoted to working with women.
That is very true, yes.
But our society is so quick to say that she's political, and she is political. And if you ask Catherine, she will tell you, yes, I'm political, but I'm not partisan. Because everything that we do in this country when it comes to organization deals with policies.
Exactly.
And it is very quick for people to try to paint as yellow or red or some other color. But I think Raise Your Voice St. Lucia is one of the few organizations that has really been standing up for as an advocate organization, because sometimes a client may not understand the bureaucracies going through the police station, going through the family court, going through VPT. And you need organizations like Raise Your Voice St. Lucia to be able to sort of assist in how clients navigate, because sometimes it could be very daunting. Imagine you have to go to one police station to make a report, go to CID, the next day you have to go to another police, and then the next day you have to go to
another
VPT.
Yes, it's very daunting. It's very discouraging also.
Yes. So I think Raise Your Voice St. Lucia is an organization that has been doing quite a bit in being not just an advocate organization, but also assisting women in going through the ranks. Also providing a level of shelter for women. The government does have the women support shelter, and we've had a lot of conversation with Sylvie Edwards, who, again, these are remarkable people that make a difference in the lives of women.
Yes, I just want to...
Sadly,
let me just stop you for a little while before you leave. Somebody's making a comment, in one of the chat rooms on WhatsApp, and they're saying if as collectively we as citizens stand up, then the police will have to act. Too often we do not act until it affects us. Nothing is we business unless it reach crisis. And I strongly agree with the comments, and of course the sentiments of the gentleman. I know it's a gentleman for sure.
Right.
What do you think? I mean, I'm agreeing with you with Catherine Seeley, and she's in the minority when it comes to standing up for rights such as these, and the kind of ridicule that she gets. I mean the gentleman who made the thing. Nothing is we business until it reach crisis. You understand?
Yeah. Well, I want to answer that. Let me just touch a bit on the LGBT situation, because I think Evan was speaking about the issue of the people thought that he was gay.
Yes.
And what I want to say also that while you do have United and Strong, I think United and Strong needs to step up now. I think because you did see a press release, where I think St. Lucia and a few other countries are looking to now take legal action against the government in terms of the constitution.
Yes, I saw that.
In terms of the Burberry law. But I certainly think that the organization that represent and that try to assist LGBT persons need to start stepping up in the region. That is a very, very big thing. I mean, a lot more needs to be done in terms of advocacy and representing the LGBT community. So that needs to happen.
Okay.
But why I to agree with the gentleman who says that if citizens need to set up so the police can start doing their work, we have to be very careful. The reason why I say that, Roger, it is very scary when people decide that they can't take anymore. We had a number of murders, robberies in St. What if the citizens decide to go to vigilante mode?
And that is against the law. That vigilance, vigilancy thing is against the law. But people will get. People
imagine you walk into. So let's look at Evans. Evan walked, I think it was Keener. One of them walked in, and when the father had just beaten the wife.
Yes.
And then this girl decides to rally the community to take Lincoln and hang him in a public square.
Wow.
People are becoming desperate, and eventually, when people don't get the response they want from the structures that are supposed to work in their favor, they may resort to something that is also against the law, but in their mind, it gives them justice. So this is something I also want people to think about. While the law sometimes does not, honestly speaking, the way the law behaves, it does not protect those who need protecting.
No,
but it's even scarier when people themselves understand that, and they start saying, you know what, to hell with these police officers, to hell with the judicial system. We shall take matters in our own hands. It is also something that we have to be careful about at the same time.
And that is very, very.
So I just want to take that.
That is very, very, very.
Thank you.
Yes. It is very, very, very sad if that we are now coming in, or we're now trying to go into that kind of thinking where the law cannot, or it's a waste of time to go to the law because it's not going to help us out, or it helps certain people and it doesn't help others, or that is a very scary thing. I imagine if every day something is happening to you and one day you just can't take it and you decide to just go on a rampage and just go off or lose your head or thing. Oh boy, we have 2 calls coming in. Let's take this one first. Okay, that person's off the hook. Let's take this one. Wow, it's crazy tonight. Yes, good evening, you are on the air. How are you doing?
Night.
Good night. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good.
Yes, darling. Your comments, your questions, your...
Let me tell you.
I know why you're laughing.
I wash my hands off Lincoln.
I know it's not just going to say.
I don't want nothing to do with Lincoln again.
Yes.
Nothing to do with Lincoln again. Let me tell you, I have no hope for Lincoln. Lincoln not in my dictionary. I don't imagine I don't think Lincoln friend. I don't nothing to do with Lincoln.
Yes.
So
go ahead, by the way. Yes. You were saying, go ahead.
So as a matter of fact, I don't want to talk about him tonight because he's too disrespectful.
Well, yes, he's disrespectful, but there's a bigger issue there. There's a bigger issue there where police officers or people that's supposed to be protecting you are engaged in that kind of, you have to look at it as a Lincoln is just a little drop in the pond. You know, we're looking at Lincoln as one person, but we have to look at it.
Your other colors addressed it, and I agree with what they said. But there is another issue, and we're missing out. The fact that Lincoln don't know how Lincoln served the country for how many years. He's supposed to know how to address the magistrate or a court, and he went in a contempt to that. He went.
Yeah, he was disrespectful. He was disrespectful.
Let me tell you, the magistrate or the judge had too much patience with Lincoln. Too much patience with Lincoln. Lincoln attacked the judge. He attacked the Cynthia. He attacked everybody that wanted to talk.
You know, it is sad that there are so many other Lincolns out there, not necessarily police officers, but again, it just goes to show that nobody, absolutely nobody, is above the law, and that when you reach before the courts, there is something you have to demonstrate or you have to show, and that is humility. You have to show respect for the court. Whether you are wrong or whether you feel you are right, you must respect the law.
That's the thing, and they have rules. The courthouse have rules, and he never took into consideration. As a police officer, that's why I say I wash my hands of him.
Okay.
I wash my hands for him again, because as a police officer, you should know better. You should know better. So because I served 30 years and I go to court, I have a right to talk to the judge how I want. I have a right to attack the defendant, or how should they say, the plaintiff or whatever.
Well, yes, the plaintiff. You're right. You have the right word, the plaintiff. That's right.
I have no right to. He has no right to do what he do there. I wash my hands off Lincoln, man.
And you see, the sad thing is, you know, that there are so many things wrong with the way Lincoln has behaved.
Yes.
So many things wrong.
Yes.
And I think it has come to a point where there is no hope for him. And there's no help for him, and then he must just
they deny him bail.
Yes.
They deny him bail. You know, if he was respectful and think, they could have considered bail for him. But you do all that, and you still want bail. You tell the judge, what?
Well, you see the same thing. The same thing again. The same thing I said. There is no humility in the man. There's none. he doesn't care.
Lincoln need to go. Lincoln square one. Lincoln square one now. I know Lincoln square one. Lincoln have no hope again.
But darling, let's talk on a little bit of thing. We understand that all the you agree with everything, but I want to go back to the Matoto thing. The Matoto.
Yeah,
how Matoto know people business like that? What you think about that?
Yes.
I mean, Matoto know the people business so much. Matoto then telling him, man, that's not it. That's you. That's the father. Matoto is a Mori man.
You know what? Matoto, let me tell you, the very first episode, right? The thing about the coconuts, and she didn't go and bring it for, but instead she try and help her Cynthia, her daughter Cynthia.
Right.
You know, try and give her. She in everybody business. Why she didn't try and fix what happened to Evans with her? Why she don't try and do good with her Obia? Why is mischief she want to cause?
Well, again,
because you know she mischievous. She miserable.
Well, again, you can't tell people. Is again, everybody have their choice and their choice to do what they want to do and how they want to do it and so on. The thing is, the things that you do, it affecting other people. Matoto doing things and it affecting other people. Look, she talking about how Evan came. He couldn't urinate, and then she gave him something to drink, and then he urinated so much. Now he fired blanks.
So how she know that man shooting blanks?
But yeah, exactly. How she know that? How she know the man shooting blanks? And then you even put in more Roro now by telling, you know, Stephen, oh, I know your dirty little secret, you know. Louis' child, not ever known, is yours.
Asking how is Trudy, how is Trudy, and whatever. You know, if you want to talk to somebody,
just tell the person what you have to tell the person
about something so serious. Do it in a better way. You're not calling the person in a mischievous way, asking.
Not totally right.
A boss.
Well, let us wait until episode 21 to see how that turns out. Yeah.
Oh yes, I will.
Yes. The other thing that I'd like to hear from you is the fact that he's going to be reinstated in his job, and now I would like to hear your comments and your sentiments on his wife's action. Look it now.
What?
His wife's action, because it would seem.
I don't think that helped.
You don't think it helped?
I don't think that helped.
But he's getting his job back. He's being reinstated.
I don't think that helped. He probably think if the Labor Department probably do their due diligence, and things came about, but not because Louis do what she do there. Louis? Let me tell you.
I just wanted to hear your comments. I knew that's something you're gonna say like
let
that.
me tell you. You see the fact that he's been reinstated, and that he will not be in the same location. That's a good thing.
I believe so.
That's
yes.
a plus.
Yes. And I think it gives. I think it gives both the employer and the employee to revisit how they do things, and how they treat. I mean, the employee now has to conduct himself in a little better and watch. His actions, his decorum, and all that. But the employee now, the employee has to watch how he behaves, and now he has to.
Let me tell you.
Hold on.
Let me tell you.
Just now. Let me just finish that. Okay. But the employer now has to take a step back and think about discrimination and the discriminatory laws and the consequences, towards that kind of action too against the employees.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you, the fact that it came about that it was racism or racist or whatever.
Yes.
When he goes to the other place, will it stop? Will it continue? What will happen?
Well, let us wait
to the other place.
We now need
because let me tell you.
I agree with you. We now need to wait and see how it will turn out, and if Evan will, in fact, be fully reinstated, and he will be comfortable in his new work environment, and the employer will take him on board wholly and solely, and they could forge that employer-employee relationship, and everything is hunky-dory with them until we hear more. Let us hope.
Well, I wish him good luck. Well, let me tell you, the fact that the hotel, different location, same hotel, talk will run.
Yes.
So when the talk run, how the way he behaves, the way he takes is in his hand, the ball is in his court.
Yes.
So it's up to him to prove himself.
But look, then you see that brings up another issue, but maybe we don't have time to fully go into it. That just brings up another issue. Moun ka parler, yo pa vle hache rien pour faire corps yo bien. Yo just ka parler moun mal, parler moun si, parler moun sa. They're just talking and talking. Mind your business. You have a job to do your job. You understand? No, Evan come here. He was on that side. They fire him over there for. Big Roroy, this and that. That's what they go. What kind of thing is that? What kind of thing is that, Bodje? You understand what I'm saying? But you are right. You are right. Maybe that might come up and so on and so on. And of course, the employer and the employee have to now guard themselves against that kind of fallout.
Yes.
But it was so nice hearing from you tonight. I know you finish with Lincoln, but let us wait to hear what happened to Lincoln next Monday, yeah?
Lincoln that you burn.
Okay, darling.
I have nothing to do with Lincoln.
All right, okay. You have a wonderful evening, sweetheart. All right, bye-bye.
Yes.
All right. Yes, we have comments. We have a comment in one of our chat rooms, and of course, the person is saying, to my knowledge, we don't really take it as serious as some other scenarios that are not that important at the moment. Maybe it may be a cause that those who are placed in the service to protect the country are maybe not told to take these kinds of things serious. I seriously doubt that. I think that when you go to training school and they put you to sit down, that you understand that you are trained. You are a trained police officer, and you are trained to uphold the law, and you are trained to respect the right of each and every person, whether you are arresting that person or whether you're assisting that person, in any way. You have to respect everybody's rights. And of course, you yourself, and I know that it is a lecture that has been given at the police training school. You are representing the law, and you now have to walk in a certain manner. Even your personal life must reflect the fact that you are an officer of the law. You understand? It is saddening. It is saddening to know. It is very sad to know that there are police officers out there that abusing. But I wanted to say that beating their women. Okay, there are police officers that are involved in that kind of domestic violence. Okay, they commit acts of domestic violence and they get away scot-free. I know somebody listening tonight. Okay. This needs to be addressed. The police force, the police force needs to, have some kind of and I'm not saying that because, I want to beat down on the police. They are human beings too. You understand? And sometimes the pressures of the job might affect, but it should not affect. You understand? It might. It should not affect. And there should be some kind of counseling and some kind of aid and help for such things. You're a police officer, your partner beating on his wife or his girl or so on and so on. Pull the man aside. Look, we need to go to these people. We need to sit down. We need to get you some help because it's affecting you and it's affecting us and it's going to affect the entire police force or whatever. That needs to happen. Yeah, it needs to happen. Of course, yes, we shall. Yes, sir. Okay, of course, I want to say good evening to Mr. Paul Harridan, listening all the way in Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening to you, sir. Good evening to your wife, your family, and everyone else. I want to say good evening to Natalia Adams. Hi, how you doing? Your family, your mom, your dad, your sisters. I want to say good evening to you guys. Of course, it's about that time where we have to say bye-bye. But, again, I must leave you with these words. If you see something and it is not good, and you just pass by and you don't say nothing, it will continue. Okay? Some people like to think, and the phrase is, if better cannot be done, let worse continue. Worse can bring to worse error and worse arrest. You understand what I'm saying, fellas? You understand what I'm saying, ladies? Worse can lead to worse error and then worse arrest. And I'm talking about what happened to Lincoln. We do not want to end up that way. Okay, yes. We are in thing, we have a thing. You in a problem, you vex, that's a walk away. Go and make a wrong. Call your partner, take a drive, don't drink too bright. Something. But cool out. If you have to spend the night by the partner, do that. So that it quells the thing. And then tomorrow morning you all kiss and make up and discuss the issue and so. No, but the first thing you'll want to think of is to give the woman a hard slap. Some women will not take your slap. And then the fight will break. And then some weapon will be pulled and then somebody dies. It has happened before. We need to stay away from that. Look at Lincoln. They have to keep him away from his wife. They have to lock him up. He's denied bail. That is sad. That is sad. And too many times, these things go unanswered. Again, there are support groups. If you do not believe that the police is acting in your best interest, there are support groups. Miss Catherine Seelys, good evening to you, my dear. There are support groups where people could go to. Okay? Raise your voice. Parlez. Dia bagay. speak up. When you see something, do not just pass it by. Speak up. It is your right to speak up. Okay? There's a phrase, you know. The only thing is, the environment for something to continue happening or something bad to continue happening is for good people to say nothing. Let us now speak up against these kinds of things. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. For those of you who called in and gave your contributions. For those of you who are still sending messages. Yes. Somebody say, it right. Lincoln, you stick in that. Look at that. You know, somebody listening and yeah, look at that. Another, no, I cannot say that. I can't say that one. Yes. But yes. You know, thanks for taking part. Thanks for making your contributions. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again next Monday, God's willing, for another hot episode of I Write. Until we... of I Write. Until we...